It's not just incidental that this incident in the gospel takes place in Caesarea Philippi. That is a city in northeastern Israel built by Herod's son Philip in honor of the Emperor of Rome, a resort city in its day, a beautiful place at the foot of Mount Hermon where the melting snows from the mountain provide refreshing pools that feed streams which then combine to be the source of the Jordan River. It was a spa-like place for the well-to-do to come for a vacation. And there, in addition to a royal residence and Roman baths, was built into the face of a rocky cliff a shrine to Pan. Pan, the god of goats, but Pan also representing the pantheism of Greek and Roman pagan religion. So as they have just returned from a grueling journey preaching and healing in Jesus' name, Jesus brings his disciples there for what they probably thought was a little rest and some debriefing. But there, Jesus asks them about what people are thinking and saying about him, and they give their replies. Maybe John the Baptist, maybe even one of the great prophets like Elijah or Jeremiah. Probably there's a little laughter among them at the seeming absurdity of such misidentifications. But then the mood changes as Jesus poses what really is the question of all questions to them. Who do you say that I am? Those answers aren't so quick to come forth, and the silence, however brief, was probably rather uncomfortable. The disciples had been caught, red-faced, without any response to offer. They had been in Jesus' company for more than 2 years by then. They heard him teach. They witnessed his miracles. Yet they don't really seem to know how to answer. That is until Simon, whose bold, if not brash ways at times made him a kind of natural leader and spokesman of the group, replies with a most unexpected, if not completely shocking answer. You are the Christ, the Son of the living God. In other words, you are not just a prophet. You are the very Messiah about whom they have prophesied. Surprisingly to the others, Jesus affirms Simon's answer as correct and obviously inspired by God. Indeed, in this particular place, Caesarea Philippi, where all the Greco-Roman world symbols of power, both earthly and heavenly, are on display, Simon is saying that Jesus is anointed and sent by the true God, and so he is above and beyond everything they see before them in that place. In other words, he is saying that Jesus is exactly what we have already praised him to be as we prayed the Gloria. He is the Holy One. He is the Lord. He is the Most High. Because of that authentic profession of faith, Simon is given a new name. And that name, which in the original Aramaic is Kephas, in the Greek Petros, and to us in English Peter, while it might be a common name in our day, it was absolutely no one's name in those days. It just simply and plainly translated as rock. And that anyone has shared that name since is attributable to this incident in the gospel. And Jesus says that on that rock he'll build his church, not a building, but an assembly of those who would be called out from the world into a community united around that bedrock belief that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of the living God. And with that, Simon, now forever after called Peter, and any who would succeed him would be given a new and enduring role in that assembly, to keep its members united in the faith that comes from an understanding of Jesus' true identity. So this question is the pivotal question around which everything else revolves. Because as C.S. Lewis, the great Christian writer of the last century, would remind us, Jesus Christ is either everything he claims to be, or he is the most deceptive and most dangerous man in all of human history. Without question, Jesus is a wise teacher, better than Confucius, Buddha, Mohammed. Of course, Jesus is an amazing healer, but those identities are not his ultimate claim about himself. Jesus demands from every living soul an answer to this very same question that he posed to those disciples at Caesarea Philippi, and he will accept no lukewarm responses, no matter how polite, flattering, or politically correct. Indeed, each of us must either affirm that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of the living God, or we are denying it, whether implicitly or explicitly. There is no wiggle room here, no middle ground. And so on that answer alone rests the entire direction of our lives in this world and beyond. So who do we say that Jesus is? If we say he is the Christ, then that is only the necessary first step, because words alone do not suffice as a complete response. Instead, we have to answer with mind and heart and soul, disposed to be completely obedient to Jesus, as demonstrated clearly through our faithful worship, our courageous witness to him, and our charitable good works. And when we fail in those things, in ways either great or small, then we must seek his forgiveness through the church Jesus established upon Peter and placed under that apostle's authority, the one to which he entrusted the keys of his kingdom and the power to bind and loose on earth and in heaven. So it really all boils down to this. If we believe Jesus is the Christ, then under normal circumstances, we would seldom miss a Mass. We would often avail ourselves of the sacrament of penance, and we would never pass up an opportunity to do good for others. Short of that, we may be only fooling ourselves, maybe some others, but certainly not Jesus.